start with the prayer.
Sahana bhavatu, Sahanau bhunaktu, Saha Viryam karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 12. We chant verses 11 to 17.
अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुम् मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागम् ततः कुरु यतात्मवान् श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानाध्यानम् विशिष्यते ध्यानात् कर्मफलत्यागः त्यागात् शान्तिरनन्तरम् अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखसुखक्षमी सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोकः लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगैः मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः अनपेक्षः शुचिर्दक्षः उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान्यः स मे प्रियः
Last week we studied 4 qualities of a spiritual person who is a Bhakta from 6 to 9, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So quality number 6, balanced in pleasure and pain. So it's quite straightforward. And again it comes from your understanding of life. That life is nothing but pairs of opposites. And when you go through these pairs of opposites, your intellect is strong enough to control your mind's emotions. If you go through profit and loss, naturally you will experience profit and loss. It's not that you're a piece of stone or a wood, but your intellect is powerful enough so that you're not affected by that up and down. The end of the day is intellect which controls your mind and its emotions. So that was quality number 6. I'm just recapping. Then quality 7 was Shami. Shami means forgiving. So product of your own growth, your maturity. So when you're established in the higher values, you know how to relate to people who are not at your level. It's a state. By wanting to forgive somebody, you cannot do that. And what is that maturity? What is that knowledge? You understand that every human being is expressing his or her own nature, vasana. That's the word which we use. So, vasana will manifest as thought, thought will manifest as desire, desire will manifest as action. So, your entire expression is in line with your vasana. If vasanas are positive, thoughts, desires, actions will be positive. If vasanas are not positive, your expressions will be accordingly. And then we discussed two inspiring quotes, one from Maurice Maeterlinck and the second quote was from Mark Twain. And also, I think we saw that pyramid diagram, right? Various levels. So if you're only when you're at the top of the pyramid, you can relate to people who are at the bottom of the pyramid. That's your growth. So you have to be at the top level. Level 1, level 2, level 3. If both are at the same level, let's say level 3, I mean, how can you relate to each other? Where is forgiveness? Where is understanding? So that's what is happening to most people. They are at the same level. So therefore, there is bitterness, there is conflict, there are all sorts of negative feelings. So forgiveness is a product of your growth. And then quality number 8, santushta satatam, ever perfectly content. Because he or she is self-sufficient. A truly spiritual person is self-sufficient. And self-sufficient does not mean you're not progressive. That is where that misunderstanding comes. It's not complacency. You have to be dynamic as a human being. You have to be progressive. But at any stage, do not link your present happiness on your future achievements. If I get that, I'll be happy. If that happens in my life, I'll be happy. Then when are you going to be happy? Whole life you'll keep on postponing your happiness. And then the ninth quality, who is a spiritual person? Such a person is called as yogi. Yogi meaning one who has understood the mission of life. So what is your life's mission? There is only one mission. There is no second mission. What is a dreamer? What is the only mission for a dreamer? To wake up. So similarly, what is the only mission for all of us? That we are separated from the truth, from reality, from divinity. So that separation, that ignorance has created host of desires. And we are drowned in these desires. So life's mission is to first of all understand that there is a separation. I mean, if you don't understand there is separation, then what mission? So the word which we use is mumukshatva. See, if you are put in a prison just for argument's sake, for no fault of yours, somebody does some mischief and you end up in a prison. So what will be the only thought? And they may say, okay, good food you will get, you want TV, yes, there is a TV. You want access to Wi-Fi, fine, you have access to Wi-Fi. Family members can come and visit you once in a while. What will be your only thought every single day? If you understand the implication of that, what will be the only thought?
To leave the prison, to
To leave,
escape.
to leave the prison, to escape, or whatever, you will do whatever to get out of that prison. And that's what is highlighted in that movie. I think we often discuss that example, Shawshank Redemption. Shawshank, I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it a French word? Shawshank. I don't know. Shawshank Redemption. I don't know if you've seen that movie. So the main character is called as Andy. It's an excellent movie. The only reason we don't show it in Vedanta class is because of language. Language is atrocious. So please don't watch with your children. And on your own you can watch. But it's a very, very philosophical movie. So it's a story about a banker, I think. He's from Maine, the state, Maine state. And for no reason, he's sent to prison on a murder charge that he killed his wife and her lover. He had got nothing to do with it. And right from the day one, the only thought in his mind is to how to escape. So he starts digging that tunnel. And it takes him 20 years. And one fine day he escapes. But he is the only one. Oh, what is that guy? Other actor? Famous actor.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman, yeah. So they have that desire to liberate. But the word which they use there is fascinating. Morgan is educating Andy. He's saying these people, they are institutionalized. That's the word he uses. So they become dependent on prison. They are perfect. In fact, they cannot survive outside. Some of them, they commit suicide or they want to come back. So that's what has happened to all of us. We have become institutionalized. You're so comfortable. You're so complacent. Nice house, brand new TV we bought. Why not? When are we going to enjoy? This is the plan in a prison. In a prison, you bought 82 inches of TV and the discussion is going on where to keep that TV. I mean, does it matter? Even if you keep it on your head, it doesn't make any sense. Keep it somewhere and, it's okay. That doesn't mean we don't want TVs. So do you have that kind of urgency? That is mumukshatva. Otherwise, whole life you will wait for clear passage. Let this happen, let that happen. So that's what Bhagavad Gita means by one who is uniting with the self, one who has understood that he or she is separated from the divinity. That is a true bhakta, that is a true spiritual person. So that's what we covered last week. So is group okay so far? So next quality number 10. So it's part of verse number 14. 14, right? Yeah, we are still on verse number 14. So verse number 14 mentions 5 qualities. And we have covered ever perfectly content, yogi, and quality number 10. It is called as yatatma. Yatatma meaning self-control. Now, self-control for what? First of all, you have to have a goal in life. So we're talking in the context of spirituality, but it applies in any field of life. So the best example to understand this concept is, as a student, you have a fixation. A sincere student, he or she has a fixation. What's that fixation? If you're a good student, you will know what I'm talking about. If you're not a good student, then this example may not appeal to you. But a student who has understood the importance of education, so how will he or she manage your life? Let's say you are studying in University of Michigan. It's an Ivy League school. With a lot of efforts, you got admission there. Not you, Tejo. His kids got admissions there, Ivy League school. So how will you manage your life as a student?
Focus your life in the study.
Yeah, focus your life on the study because that's your goal. Unless you have that fixation, what focus? But how will you manage your other activities? You may be in a band, You may be in sports, you may be in a debating club, you may have your own set of friends, all that is okay. But how will you manage your activities as a student? How will you manage that?
Lead a disciplined life.
Yeah.
Meticulous.
Correct.
Planning.
Anyone else?
Prioritize.
Excellent.
Have a sense of proportion in
Yeah.
everything you do.
Excellent. See, it's not that you will not participate, but you will make sure that all these activities, they are not affecting your studies, your goal. But for that, you have to have a goal. Otherwise, how will you manage your activities around that goal? So similarly, as a seeker, as a spiritual person, you have to have a goal. Now that goal could be absolute, that goal could be relative, doesn't matter. Relative goal is, yes, I want to learn this knowledge. So therefore, every week I want to attend these lectures. It could be twice a week. Some of you are getting up every day in the morning and studying. Some of you are doing e-learning. So you need to commit yourself to a schedule. See, that is where that schedule helps. Otherwise, I mean, it's like the horses are like a senses, your mind. They are going in any direction. So there is no discipline. Your friend calls you for a wedding, boom, you go. It's not that you should not go. But how can you go day in and day out if it is interfering with your goal? If the children call you for whatever reason, mom, dad, I have a flat tire. I mean, you'll catch a flight and you'll go to Texas to fix a flat tire. I'm magnifying it, so that you can understand. Because there is no goal in your life. There is no spiritual goal. It's not that you are indifferent. It's not that you don't help others. It's not that you don't identify with others. But then where is self-control? Self-control for what? The friends are going on a cruise vacation. See, it's not that you should not go on a cruise. But fine, when other things are interfering with your, I mean, if it is interfering with your goal, how can you say no? No, I have to drop off somebody at the airport, so therefore I will not come for the 3-day, 4-day retreat. I'm not saying you should not drop off somebody, but where is your priority? So that is where that fixation comes. That is where that self-control comes. So to have self-control, what you need? The goal. Goal could be absolute, goal could be relative.
I think
And
it's
when
also
mind wanders, intellect brings it back. So that is important. Mind will wander. So when mind wanders, remind yourself of your purpose in life and you bring it back. And like Uncle Sachdeva said, use your sense of proportion. It's not that you don't participate in anything in life. Use your sense of proportion. Now, you want to attend these classes, but it could clash with some important function in your family. It's possible. And that function is important. Maybe once in a while you have to attend. It's okay. But that is different from being totally sucked into one function after the other, one event after the other. You get the point. So a Bhakta, a spiritual person, is self-controlled. It's intellect which controls your life's activities.
I think what also helps is the ability to say yes and no. We say yes to a lot of stuff when it's not really a priority.
Yeah. That comes from a goal. Only if there is a goal, you will say yes, you will say no. If there is no goal, it could be no also all the time. It could be yes, yes, yes also. It's a good point. Next quality number 11. Druda Nishchaya. A seeker, a true seeker, has firm conviction to follow the spiritual path. See, first of all, it is your intellect which sets an ideal after logic and reason. that why do you want to follow spiritual path to begin with? You can't plant that goal in anybody. How come I'm following? How come you are following? So you understand the importance of this knowledge, that why do I need this knowledge? I'm talking from a very basic level, not from the absolute level. So once you understand the importance of this knowledge, that without this knowledge, I mean, I can't manage my life. I want to be peaceful. I want harmony in my life. I want to be productive in my life. And I don't know how to achieve this. I don't know what is the technique of life and living. So Vedanta, the scriptures, they give this technique. It's an instruction manual for life. So therefore, I have to learn this knowledge. That's a relative goal. But it is backed by your logic and reason, it's backed by your understanding, and it's the intellect which does that. Or your goal could be absolute, doesn't matter. That's mumukshatva. I want to get out of this prison. And only when you analyze it, you weigh pros and cons. If you follow this knowledge versus if you don't follow this knowledge, if you neglect this knowledge, what will happen? Then only you develop that conviction. Conviction is nothing but logical conclusion of your own intellect. And again, it could be absolute, it could be relative, it doesn't matter. Secondly, you also have to take into account your present capacity and circumstances. See, the first point was intellect sets an ideal. Ideal could be absolute, ideal could be relative. It is backed by your intellect. Second point is you have to take into account your present capacity and circumstances. See, for example, when I was 26, I got exposed to this knowledge, and it took me a while, maybe like 9 months, I would say 1 year, to come to a conclusion that yes, I will follow this path full time. I will join Vedanta Academy. So it's not that immediately I took to this. I was in business. I had to wind up my business systematically so that people who are working for me, they will not be, I mean, I had to think of their welfare and all that. And second was, see, it's not that immediately you get into a highly disciplined life. It takes a while. See, my guru always gives this example. I mean, he studied for 18, 19 years. He literally locked himself in a room, and that is where he produced all this literature, all the books. Now, do we have that capacity? None of us have that capacity, but that does not mean you don't have any capacity at all. Right now, your capacity could be attend one lecture at a time. Be truthful to yourself. Yes, this is my capacity. And there are some other areas of my life, perhaps I'm caught up in them. Perhaps I have some obligations at this time. So if you don't take into account your capacity, your circumstances, then you will not be setting a realistic goal. That is important. And if goal is not realistic, you will lose inspiration, you will lose motivation. Third point is when you set your goal or an ideal, it cannot be based on your mind's impulses. Otherwise, it will fizzle out. I want to attend these classes. Your mind may feel like doing it, but if it is not backed by intellect, if you haven't really thought about it, in a matter of time, it will fizzle out. It happens with a lot of people. The fourth point is you have to be consistent in your efforts. Well, yes, you have set the goal, but if you're not consistent, what can you achieve in life, even in spiritual field? And again, when you're not consistent, when you're getting sucked into the world, what do you do? Already discussed, previous point. Mind will wander. Mind will have its own say once in a while. So how do you bring it back?
By setting a goal.
Already done that. So all has happened. You have to be consistent. You understand that. But once in a while it will happen that you are not consistent. You're getting sucked into the world. Happens to everybody. So how will you address that?
How about
Intellect.
setting a sub goal, a smaller step to the main goal?
Mhm.
Intellect brings it back.
You use your intellect.
Yeah.
You use your intellect to bring it back. You're driving on the highway. Your car starts drifting. How do you bring back the car into the central lane? Silly question. The only thing which can bring it back is steering wheel. So the only thing which can steer you back towards the goal is your intellect. And you will face challenges of life. There's another point. See, that is where your conviction is tested. I have my own set of challenges. I could have. You could have your own set of challenges. Only when you face challenges of life, that is where your conviction to follow spiritual path, that's your real test, And we always talk about the story of Bhakta Prahlad. It's a concept. Whether he lived or not, we don't know. Sometimes history and mythology, they are mixed up. Tradition says that he lived. He was a small boy, teenager. And the opposition he faced from his own parents was mind-boggling. His own father was opposed to him studying Vedanta. And he created all sorts of obstacles so that he should not study this knowledge, he should not follow spiritual path. But in spite of all these challenges thrown at him, he never deviated from spiritual path. Exactly same thing could be happening to you and me, isn't it? See, sometimes your own partner may not allow you to follow this path. I don't know how many of you have come across that situation. Here, most are couples. So everybody hand in hand, they are following the spiritual goal. But I come across many situations like husband is sincere and wife is creating the obstacle, or it could be other way around. So every day in your life, you could face that obstacle. Your friends could be that obstacle. Your own relatives could be that obstacle. Swami Ramtita's famous statement, he says, "Oh God, please save me from my friends and relatives." And we say they are going to save us. See, there is a meaning behind why he's saying that. Oh God, please save me from and relatives. Life, it could be a health challenge. It could be some challenge at work. Doesn't matter. So, what is that test? That in spite of challenges like that boy, Bhakta Prahlad, you should follow that, follow this path. And there is another poem. It is in the Select English Poem book. What is that poem called? Kaisa Bianca. So you can refer to that poem. 99% people, they misunderstand that poem. There are chances that even after I giving this example, you will misunderstand. Just Google who is the poet. Kaisa Bianca. It is in Swamiji's book. It's okay. Kaisa Bianca. So he talks about a boy, a very obedient boy, and he's sailing with his father. It's all symbolic. And his father tells him that, that take care of the ship, stand here and, I'll just go to the engine room and find out what's happening. There's something wrong. And while his father is attending to whatever is wrong with the ship catches fire. And the boy, that's the whole thing. The boy stood on the burning deck. Can you read the last few lines from the poem? Can you bring the poem here?
Felicia.
Felicia is the poet. Felicia is the poet. I just want them to know the last few lines. Can you bring it here?
with mast and helm and pennon fair, that well had borne their part, but the noblest thing which perished there was that young faithful heart.
This is how it concludes. You can read on your own. So he says that boy stood on that, burning deck. And everybody, I mean, because his father had told him that don't leave this deck, and then he perishes. Now, if you take it literally, you will say, what a silly boy. It doesn't mean that. So once you have that conviction, it doesn't matter what happens to you, what challenges you face in life. You do not deviate from this path. So I wish we could do the poem, but it's not possible. Then these qualities will go on forever. So read that poem, Kaisa Abhiyan Ka. It's fascinating. So that is conviction. Or Bhakta Prahlad, any example you can remind yourself of. Next quality number 12. Mai arpit manobuddhi. Mind and intellect dedicated to me, to the spiritual path. Manas is mind, buddhi is intellect. So there is a misconception that a devotee does not use his intellect, or a jnani meaning a person of wisdom who follows path of knowledge. There is no role of the mind. It's a misconception. Both have to go hand in hand. The next chapter, chapter 13, he talks about who is a jnani, who is a man of wisdom, who is a person of wisdom. And there he mentions one who is totally devoted to me. So a true jnani is a bhakta, a true bhakta is a jnani. So mind and intellect, they have to go hand in hand. There is a confluence of mind and intellect throughout your spiritual journey. In fact, you cannot evolve spiritually if one is missing. See, for example, we are just discussing, we are just analyzing, right? We're just trying to understand. And if it is not backed by feeling, if it is not backed by devotion, reverence, what is this study will be reduced to? The whole thing will be scholastic. I am talking, you're having discussion, you're having questions. The whole thing is intellectual discussion. There is no reverence, there is no respect, there is no surrender, or only devotion. And it is not backed by understanding. You don't know what you are doing, why you are doing it. So both mind and intellect is required to grow spiritually right from the initial stage till the last stage. We talked about meditation many times. Even in meditation, there is a confluence of mind and intellect. It's a mind which is chanting Om. It is intellect which is supervising that chant. The moment intellect is not there, the mind takes over. It's not meditation anymore. Or you're just chanting without that bhavana, that feeling for the chant. I mean, what are you chanting it for? So right from the beginning, there is a confluence of mind and intellect. It's absolute must. Only then it can remove the ignorance of vasanas, the desires. You may have a lot of feelings, talking in the context of devotion. You may have a lot of feelings, you may have a lot of respect, you may have a lot of reverence, you may have a lot of energy to follow spiritual path. But if it is not backed by intellect, you will not be able to channelize your efforts. You get the point. And that's what happens to a lot of people. They're excited. Yes, I want to learn. I never heard this knowledge, I now I got this opportunity. And they start reading books at random. They start listening to all sorts of lectures. It's okay initially, but ultimately you have to channelize your efforts. If you cannot channelize your efforts, if you're not systematic, if you're not methodic in your study, how can you grow? So therefore, confluence of mind and intellect is required. See, the word which we use is sadhana. You have to be systematic in your sadhana. And you get a glimpse of that when we do retreats. Next week, fortunately, 3 days will be going there. So what are you going to do there? There's only one important line which we mentioned there. We try to replicate the schedule of Vedanta Academy. What is that replication? What are we trying to replicate during those 3 days? What are we trying to replicate? You don't have to attend. I'm just asking you this question. What is that test you get there, which you in day-to-day life is not possible unless you have totally surrendered? Yes, Vivek?
Take away from the day-to-day mundane world, be there secluded.
And that is there, but I'm talking more about sadhana, your spiritual practice. What is it that you are experiencing there?
The confluence of mind and intellect.
Consistency.
Yes, Lena?
I said the consistency.
Consistency, yes.
Study and reflection.
See, that discipline, all these are correct answers, that discipline. Karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, action, devotion, knowledge. But what is that proportion? What is that discipline? See, otherwise you will do whatever you feel like doing. That's what is happening to most people. One set of people, they just study, study, study. Another set of people who are predominantly devotional, just devotion, devotion, devotion. So the knowledge is missing. It could be that there is no action. So what is that discipline approach to your spirituality? That's that glimpse you get. And
Balance of all three.
for that you need guidance. Somebody has to teach that to you. The schedule which we are talking about is designed by my guru, by Swamiji. So that's what you do when you join Vedanta Academy, even when you go there as a visitor. What you do is you follow the schedule which students are following. That is how you learn that how to be systematic. Otherwise, if there is no guidance, if there is no schedule, you will do whatever you feel like doing. See, a few months back when I was in India, I'm sharing practical experience. So my colleague who has been with me for last almost for 30 years in Vedanta Academy, so they bought a nice house, and there was a ritual. The housewarming ceremony was there. And the tradition is after that ritual is over, you go to a nearby temple and take the blessing. It's a tradition. And there's a very famous shrine near his house. And that particular institution, that place, I think they have, I don't know, some 10,000 acres of campus, like massive. So we went there, we had darshan, we went to the temple, and then we came to our living quarters, which is like, I don't know, some 5,000 acre area. So I did not find one exception to this. Once they go to the temple, they come back to their residential quarters, which is not far from the temple. Then they don't know what to do all day. So it is reduced to a picnic spot. I'm not saying it is wrong, but do you go to, like, if you go to the retreat, northern Michigan, we are going. If somebody starts kayaking and I'll go to Traverse City and do something, they'll be thrown out. I personally, I will throw that person out. It's not going to happen. But since there is somebody to supervise, first of all, there is no time. Morning 4:30, I think Neha is going to come with you're the prayer in charge, right? Shruti and Neha. Morning 4:30 to night, evening 9 o'clock. You'll be kept busy. You'll be tied to the schedule. But they're all well-meaning people. Coming back to the example, it's like a picnic. So somebody is like talking about food, somebody is going out and ordering pizza, and family, they are like singing. That Antakshari is going on. I don't know, in English, what is the word for Antakshari? Is there a word for Antakshari in English? I think we must translate that. I mean, American friends, they have to.
That should be in the
There has to be some word. Anybody born and brought up in America who's of Indian origin, they will know. Sorry? Oh, that game doesn't exist in America.
It's pure desi game.
I don't know how to.
Last word in a song. You sing the last word in a song. Take the last word and word or syllable can be taken and it will continue. The songs will continue.
Which is the famous song? Old song. Don't give me Michael Jackson's song. Some old song from old English movie. Can somebody give me that example? I mean, it's fascinating. Movie song. That is, we're not talking about spiritual songs. No, movie song.
Like
When you
Sweet
which song appeared?
Caroline.
Hmm?
There's a song called Sweet Caroline.
Sweet Caroline. Okay. Somebody sings that. A few lines you sing. Sweet Caroline. It ends with E. E, right? Caroline. Okay. So another person has to start a song with E. Can somebody do it right now?
Edelweiss.
Huh?
Edelweiss.
You get the spirit of what I'm trying to say. So are we going to a spiritual place to play this game?
Mhm.
I'm not saying, I mean, on a weekend you can do it for fun. Why not? So this is what happens when mind takes over. There is no discipline. Therefore, that intellect is must. So therefore, he says confluence of mind and intellect. Next verse number 15. Verse number 15 mentions 3 more qualities. So we'll chant verse number 15.
यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोकः लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगैः मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोकः लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगैः मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः.
Translation: by whom the world is not agitated, and who is not agitated by the world, who is freed from joy, envy, fear, and anxiety. He is dear to me. Throughout, he keeps on qualifying that. Same Bhakta Priya. If you have these qualities, then you are a spiritual person. Only if you have these qualities, then you are a spiritual person. So, quality number 13 and 14, they are fascinating. And they are explained together. So, 13 says, by whom the world is not agitated. Who is a spiritual person? You don't agitate others. Starts with your wife or husband. It goes without saying. You will be like an angel to the whole world. Come home and, nobody can come near you. Your fangs come out. So by whom the world is not agitated. And 14, who is not agitated by the world. So who agitates the world? See, if you're a truly spiritual person, how can you agitate others? So when do you agitate the world? World meaning who? You agitate, okay, your life. When do you agitate others? When you create disturbance, unnecessary disturbance. It could be in a family, it could be in a society, it could be in a community.
Your
Principle is
ego.
same.
Your ego.
Mhm.
You yourself are agitated.
When you yourself are agitated, good. Who, all are the correct answers. Who agitates others? Excellent. When you are selfish, when you are full of ego and egocentric desires, only such a person will agitate others wherever he goes, doesn't matter. Why will you agitate others?
It's
Say,
the
when
same
you're selfish, when you're egocentric. Correct.
like
Next.
misery loves company.
Sorry, say that again.
Like misery loves company. That saying, misery loves company. When you're a miserable person, you make everybody around you.
When you are selfish, when you are egocentric, full of egocentric desires, you will agitate the world, people around you. How? Demand. Because you start demanding. You become a taker. You want people to cater to you at all levels of your personality. Oh, you forgot my birthday. You forgot our wedding anniversary. Oh, you're not talking to me. You did not give me a gift. You're not following my idea and ideology. You don't care for my emotional endless list. So you want people to cater to your emotions. So you become a taker. So when you start demanding, then you start disturbing people. But person who is unselfish, who has no egocentric desires, it's not in black and white, relatively speaking. How can you agitate other people? There are no clashes, there is no confrontation, there is no demand, you're not a taker. So therefore, such a person endears himself or herself wherever he goes, isn't it? Now that we're not talking about some mad people who are agitated, doesn't matter for whatever reason. Now, there were a set of people who were agitated with Christ also. You get the point. There were a set of people who were agitated with Krishna also. Krishna had so many enemies. He didn't have any enemies. Ravana was agitated with Rama. So we're not talking about that. You could be extremely unselfish, But in spite of that, there are people, due to their extreme selfishness, they are agitated. We're not talking about such extreme cases. But when you are unselfish, when you don't have ego, you don't have egocentric desires, when you don't have demands, how can you agitate others? You get the point. As opposed to a person who is full of ego and egocentric desires. So only when you are unselfish, there is less egocentric desires, you attract other people towards you. And this is what we see even in our day-to-day life. Who are the people you don't want to relate to in life? It's fascinating. Who are the people you don't want to relate to in your life? They could be your friends, so-called friends. They could be your colleagues. They could be your whatever. Who are the people you don't want to relate to or you want to relate to?
Who don't
It's
agree
psychology.
with me? Who doesn't agree? Who doesn't like me? Agree with me? My ego again. Who doesn't comply with my ego?
Mm-hmm. Selfish people. If somebody is unselfish, why will you not like to relate to him? So only the moment selfish person comes who is, oh my God, that person could be your partner. That person could be your so-called friend. That person could be your colleagues. That person could be your members of the community. So that's the psychology. And since good many people are selfish, so therefore we are on a back foot. Oh my God, what is he going to ask again? Again, is he going to make a demand? See, we do in-person lectures right now. This is happening. Like about 10, 15 of us are here. But sometimes when we have a larger group, I'm discussing who is a devotee, who is a spiritual person, who does not agitate the world. One person is appointed, he is given a duty to manage car parking. Here, permanent, Veera has got that job. Makarande, you do that, right? Why do we do that? If we call ourselves devotee, if we call ourselves spiritual people, Bhagavad Gita lectures are going on, this is the highest knowledge we are learning. The least we can do is what? Forget about thinking of Atman Brahman, Supreme Reality, the least we can do to begin with is what? I'm talking about car park, parking your cars. The least we can do is what?
Park far away. Park far, so when other people come, there is space for them.
At least don't disturb your neighbors. We are studying here highest knowledge, and you're disturbing your neighbors by the way you park. I mean, what spirituality? I think last year, I think it happened here or somewhere, I don't remember. The moment I entered that street, the whole street was rocking. Literally, it was rocking with bhajans. I'm not saying you should not sing devotional songs, but the whole street, literally, they were rocking. Not with hard rock, they were rocking in the spiritual music. But if I am their neighbor, I don't want that kind of a music. Why are you forcing your spirituality on me? Are you with me? And give me examples from day-to-day life. The so-called bhaktas, they are forcing spirituality on others. If I am studying, I am singing bhajans, the whole street must listen to me. What if somebody is sick? Imagine these lectures are going on and we put loudspeakers. The entire street is listening to what we are saying. What right you have to disturb others? So the so-called spiritual people, so-called devotees, they are least aware of others' discomforts. I'm giving you examples from day-to-day life. You follow my ideology, otherwise I will pounce on you. Where is that? Where is true Bhakta who does not agitate others? And also who is not agitated by the world. You don't agitate others. Also, you are not agitated by the world. When you will not be agitated by the world, when you don't have any demands. Only when you're a taker, you're agitated, isn't it? If you don't have demands, if you don't have egocentric desires, if you are unselfish, how can you be agitated by anybody? Isn't it? Even your own partner does not cater to your demands. It's okay. I mean, it's not, he or she is not your slave. At the end of the day, everybody is an individual. You haven't bought your partner. The foundation of relationship is what? Love. The exchange of love. You express your love. So that does not mean you have bought him. You have to do this. Even if he or she does not subscribe to your views, does not cater to your whatever, however right you may be, you're not agitated. To that extent, we have to fine-tune our personality. Therefore, I'm giving these examples from day-to-day life. If there is a feeling of oneness, how can you be agitated? Can Vedanta agitate you? Vedanta is his son's name. He may agitate us, definitely. If you bring him here, please don't bring him here. We all will get agitated. He's I don't know what word to use. Not hyper square child, no? And incidentally, he came for our first retreat. I don't know. I think Shailesh Bhai managed him or somebody managed him. I don't know. Will you be agitated by your own child? Your own daughter, however horrible that person may be, because there is a feeling of oneness. And also, if your focus is on the self, the supreme reality, to the extent your focus is on the self, supreme reality, to that extent, body, mind, intellect will not agitate you. So only when your focus is on body, mind, intellect, world is going to agitate you. So that is the ultimate test. And also, you're not ruffled by the challenges of the world, which world throws at you. So all this put together, who is not agitated by the world. So first, make sure that you consciously and unconsciously don't agitate others. And also you're not agitated by the world. So 13 and 14. And then 15, free from joy, envy, fear, anxiety. It means more the desires, more the mental agitations. A simple concept. It is unfulfilled desires which create mental agitations. So if you are inundated with desires, unfulfilled desires will keep on creating mental agitations. I want to go and see a Niagara Fall. Till you see Niagara Fall, you will be disturbed. You go there, you drive from here, it takes 5 hours. Then somebody tells you, did you go to Niagara on the lake? Oh, I missed that. So then you develop a desire to go and see Niagara on the lake. It's a European style village near Niagara. You go there. Then somebody says, oh, did you go to the Shaw Festival? It's a theater where they play classic plays like Shakespeare and all that. Then that desire is added. It can go on and on. So all these unfulfilled desires, they create mental agitation. So mental agitations are not in the external world. Stress is not an external world, it is internal. And what do we mean by internal? It is unfulfilled desires which create mental agitations. And if desire, the quality of desires is poor, maximum mental agitations, egocentric desires, it will be torn apart. And also these desires, they are subject to various modifications. Any desire is subject to several modifications. Makran, can we have that chart? See, there you go. So once you entertain a desire, and if that desire is not fulfilled, it produces mental agitations. Not only that, that desire is subject to various further modifications. The greed, the delusion, fear, anger, envy, arrogance. You have desire for wealth, just to explain the concept. You earn X amount of wealth. There is no satisfaction. You want more and more and more and more. You get all the wealth in the world. You get deluded. You forget what's your purpose in life. You forget what's your mission in life. It's like a child who is surrounded by too many toys. It doesn't, that child cannot come out of that, forgets what's the real purpose of life. So similarly, you get deluded. There is a fear of losing wealth. Oh my God, war, NASDAQ has gone down by 18% and all that, that fear or anger. Who started this war? Get angry at those people. There is envy at those who are above you, isn't it? I live in a 4,000 square feet house. It's not bad, but his house is on the lake side. So you're jealous of him. See how they are kayaking and nicely, enjoying. Or you become arrogant towards those who are below you. So all these modifications put together, they produce mental agitations. And as you evolve spiritually, it becomes less and less. Zero meaning you become an enlightened person. So therefore he says, free from joy, envy, fear, and anxiety. It means less desires and subsequent less modifications of desires. And as you progress on the spiritual path, you become more and more peaceful. So what is that peace? Due to reduction of your desires. What's the time? 10:30. Okay, so we have to conclude. So there's a quick announcement from June 7th, which is Sunday, correct? You have that PowerPoint? Yeah, there you go. So we'll be starting a new study class on Swamiji's book, governing business and relationships. It will be every Sunday 9:30 to 10:30. Now, I think most of you are aware that Swamiji has written a lot of introductory books to Vedanta. See, one thing is to study Bhagavad Gita Upanishad, which is the lifetime effort, but it's not that easy to understand Bhagavad Gita on your own. So therefore, what we all need is immediate application of the knowledge of Gita or Upanishad in our day-to-day life, because Gita is not going to explain just one word, buddhi nashat pranashyati. Now, what do you mean by that? Once you lose your intellect, you lose everything. Then he talks about harmony. Guna guneshu vartante iti matvana sajjate, meaning how do you manage your relationships? So how do you manage your relationships, right? How do you become productive in life? How do you control your, how do you manage your productivity? So how do you apply knowledge of Vedanta in your day-to-day life? What are the leadership skills? Everything is in the book, in Bhagavad Gita, but it's not that easy for an ordinary person like you and me to derive that message, absorb that message, get established in that message or a knowledge, and then we apply. So here these books, they score. Like straight, it's like a ready-made knowledge. Sometimes it is required. It's much easier to understand, much easier to apply in day-to-day life. So that is that book all about, governing business, meaning how do you manage your profession, relationships. It could be your partner, it could be your professional relationship, it could be your relationship with members of community. So the theme of the book is self-management. That's the main theme. That if you cannot manage yourself, you cannot manage anything external, period. If you can manage yourself, you can manage the whole world. And what is it we mean when we say you cannot manage yourself, or what is it you manage? It is intellect which is managing your mind. So if you can manage yourself, or only when you can manage yourself, you'll be able to manage your relationship with your spouse to begin with. Then only you'll be able to manage your children, your profession, your finances, your relationship with the whole world. So that's what is lacking in the today's world. The whole thing is lopsided. You could be successful. In spite of that, your personal relationship could be literally on the rocks. It could be chaotic. You don't know how to relate to others. You don't know how to manage your finances and so on and so forth. So that is where that this book scores in. That's the theme of the book. And it is, compared to Bhagavad Gita, it is, I would say, discussion oriented. We can't have discussion on Bhagavad Gita. Somebody has to teach you Bhagavad Gita. But here, like, there is more opportunity for interaction. So we are going to start that study of that book from Sunday, June 7th. And no need to register again. All of you have already registered for Gita class, so you will get a Zoom link. And going forward, it is going to be a common Zoom link for whatever activities we have except public lecture. So you can use the same link to attend this class, new class. You can attend the same Zoom link to attend our discussion forums on Wednesdays, question and answer session. So you don't have to register. And you will receive 2 or 3 reminders. So it's going to be a fascinating journey. It will take us maybe 7 to 8 months to complete the study of that book. There is opportunity to attend in person also. First 4 to 5 sessions, same place, Troy, Vijay's and Raji's house. So pass on this information to your friends, but they will have to register to receive email link and all that. So note down Sunday, June 7th, which is Sunday, 9:30 to 10:30 in the morning. Anything else? Next week. Oh yeah, next week there is no Bhagavad Gita class because we have Vedanta retreat. So you will get an email. Emails are going, right? Yeah. All right. So have a wonderful weekend and see you next week.
Thank you,
Thank
Amit.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
too. Thank you.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.